It's a big thing, and you already know if you get that high KD against a top and high level team, it means you're basically able to dominate the other counterpart of you have. And again, at this grand final, this is going to be a best of 5 series, not a best of 7. We got WDC.Freeslot and Blacklist International Ultimate both banning Sparrow and Purifier.
Hey, I do agree with you, right? They are a different sort of beast, and there are speculations out there. Well, technically, we are the ones who threw the speculations out there that they are faking it out, and they are trying to prove that they're not a big threat until they get to the playoffs. So we will see whether or not that can be proven, that theory can be proven, or that theory can just be absolutely shattered. It is in the hands of WDC.Freeslot, one of the best teams to play at Garena, the Thai Giants. And at the get-go, it seems like WDC is really taking it to Blacklist Ultimate, not allowing them to pull away a single point. But it is up to this next break. And as I say that, as COD goes in for the challenge, they only have one final objective player for the play here. 2 other defenders from the side of WDC.Freeslot to still go in and hold on to that point. Even if they do not rip away the points, they are making sure Blacklist picks up nothing from this hill. And that's just the slaying capability of WDC. But time is going to catch up with you. The players of WDC are going to falter as Blacklist now try to hold on to this final 10 seconds of the hills. Nobody's going in for the early rotation, but the gods of RNG give away the favorable spawns for P2 to WDC, and the player just loses his life just like that. No hold of that hill early on, and Blacklist should be able to take over now.
Yeah, the hard point initially will be opening up, and still no one is going to be contesting. They're fighting for position in here, and Blacklist International Ultimate will be able to win a little bit of more of the gunfights while Scary is going in to initiate the flank. It's a huge double kill, and maybe this is going to be the play that this team actually needs, because right now they will be able to buy some time to reinforce some players inside this hill, and of course get the second floor control. But that soon would falter with Guitar playing inside a point. A huge back and forth trade that we go in here, but what matters the most in this matchup is you get the favorable spawns moving into P3, and right now it's going to be Blacklist in that point. An early investment made here by FDX, which will not be actually transcend into any couple of kills in here, but it's a good thing that Tin will be there for the follow-up. And finally, the final 20 seconds will be belonging to BLU as they continue to reap up kills, but finally they get bullied out. And Blacklist International Ultimate, they're not in the bad spot though. They do have the next rotation in their favor, so they just have to hold on to it and continue to stay the place that might bully them out.
Yeah, I fantastically agree with the players on the side of Blacklist International Ultimate. Just like how I said, they allowed themselves to get defeated. They allowed themselves to get bullied out at that point. You cannot kill yourself, therefore you allow your opponents to slay you, helping you spawn from the back, because Blacklist Ultimate already had that anchor spawn from the Special Forces base, and when they do falter, they get to spawn a little bit closer towards that P3. Fantastic ideation, and the execution is even better. Now they've got a good hold in here. WDC.Freeslot cannot find any ingress whatsoever into this hill, and Blacklist Ultimate trying to run away with this matchup. They are winning out a majority of their gunfights here, and WDC cannot find no break. This is that one last backstab. If they fail, I believe WDC will just focus on holding on to the red garage instead.
You know, there's a lot of times that WDC.Freeslot initiated a multi-angle push, and every attempt is going to be unsuccessful. The stronghold so far, the point is going to be a great play, but finally, Freeslot will be able to break the hill and make some contention in there. It's also a good thing that they also have C1, if I'm not mistaken, on the right side of the map. So they are currently set up for perfection moving into this P4. So right now, they're trying to chain the scrap time to P4 rotation. A great play made in here by this team, WDC.Freeslot, while Blacklist will be on the late on the rotate. They might be able to pull up with this operator skill that is actually available and earn up. Let's see how they use it to their advantage.
Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. WDC.Freeslot did not fall for that trick again in the hands of Blacklist Ultimate. They did find a break into cable car platform, but they did not make a mistake of breaking their spawns from the Special Forces base when it was so close to the end of that hard point already, because it would help them get the spawns on the opposite side of the map to control this hill. Instead, they doubled back down, they sent their anchors, and they held on to that point at the same time. Blacklist Ultimate winning this purely through gunfights, and the right move made here was to break that spawns first and send in that manpower to take over the hill. So many strategies being played out there to perfection by both of these teams. We are now at the playoffs of the Garena Regional Qualifiers, and it's just fantastic to watch. Blacklist Ultimate bashes their heads back in, final scrap points to pick up, but it's really so close between these two teams, Cali.
Yeah, big play from Blacklist International Ultimate a while ago, using that Annihilator and having a big usage off of it. You know, takes 3 players down and, of course, take care of the spawns for P4. And now they have a 30-point lead in here, which is going to be huge as we move into P1, which is going to be tightly contested. So far for WDC, they're trying to find a bounce back. C1 on a very off angle could land a couple of kills in here, and a beautiful landing with that gravity vortex shots 2 players down. But still, you're going to see Blacklist contest inside the hill, and this has been the way to go for WDC. You know, they're trying to put the players there one by one, but every time they send out the players, they get shot down all over again. And Blacklist International Ultimate winning more in the power position, but finally, yeah, controls the off angle, and now they're good to go. This final 20 seconds should be in their favor. They just gotta win their gunfights.
Yeah, a little too early for Blacklist Ultimate to just focus on the spawns of that P2, but now they go back in the fight for that P1, which I think is a little bit crazier because, you know, if you've already made that mistake, you just got to make the best of it. But instead, they step on into the hill and then they get slain out, giving the players of WDC the opportunity to activate some of their operators as well as streak up just a little bit. You can see C1 activating that first score streak already for himself. And the players of WDC.Freeslot use this hill on that reset of hard points to get right back into this matchup. Both teams, once again, playing strategy to its best, and the mechanical skills are quite comparable on both sides. But we do see a couple of players still struggling, and the main one here is Cheek from the side of WDC.Freeslot. If he doesn't wake up, if he doesn't start fragging a little bit better alongside his brother Guitar, the team of WDC is going to be in a lot of trouble here, Kali.
Yeah, absolutely right. You know, actually, Chick actually averaged 30 kills per game in every hardpoint that they actually played in. Right now, still not in prime position to get some eliminations, and Blacklist International Ultimate continues to fry the game. But the good thing that WDC actually have the power position here. They got the top floor control, and now they're able to break the hill. So that's one wise adjustment that they actually did inside the hill, but they eventually get bullied out once again with the way Blacklist has been playing. Right now, AG is going to have 19 kills in his favor, and they are already chaining to a P3 rotation with number 2 actually holding up the back spawn. So with that actually in favor for them, that should spawn the team on the left side of that minimap, and Scared gets to get one more gunfight up front, and that's going to be Blacklist International Ultimate once again claiming the early rotation, winning the early hold, and right now in this prime angle, they just might be able to pull away from this hardpoint.
And for the players of WDC, they fall one after the other. They falter on the attack. They haven't been able to break this perfectly just yet, but I love the patience out of C1. He already had the opportunity to go out there and continue engaging, but that would have been a really dumb move because he had no backup. Waits for that perfect timing, waits for that backup, gets the double slay, and opens up the hill for the rest of the players of WDC.Freeslot. What a break, what a patience play, and now they've got the spawns out of the P3 as well. WDC.Freeslot will try to squeeze themselves right back into this matchup to keep things all equal. But can they run away? Final 20 seconds here. Blacklist Ultimate will have to back away towards the Gorilla base and hold on to P4 instead. Early setup. Let's see if this benefits them in any way whatsoever, because if WDC gets out of here, breaks that hill successfully, we're going to see the Thighs lead this matchup.
Absolutely right, AJ. No, C1 knows how to set his teammate for success. Again, waiting for the perfect opportunity to strike at the back and get the team to spawn in that P3. And now they have 3 operator skills actually used in here. Guitar actually get 1 kill there. They just need to worry about the player holding off the anchor. That's going to be AG off the back, but they got shot down. It's a good thing that C1 will be able to break from this nose. And right now, takes the spawn away from Blacklist International Ultimate. So now, we are talking about IQ in execution. WDC now slowly trying to play this like a film. Take a look at how well they get that setup after they break the hill.
They break the hill with perfection, brother. From the cable car edge, strung in towards the blue radar station. They take the hill first. They send their players in to break their spawns. They get both of their objective, but Blacklist International Ultimate have more than enough time. They take that exact same approach from the opposite side of the map, from the edge platform into the spawns first and then into the hill. Both the teams playing their own strategies out there. Both the strategies absolutely sound. Hence why we've got a neck-and-neck matchup here between the two kings. Blacklist International Ultimate, the King from the Philippines, and WDC.Freeslot, the one that runs the whole of Thailand. And into the reset, Blacklist Ultimate wants to set it up first as WDC.Freeslot reaches the 201 point mark, looking to close things off, but nothing is over just yet because of how close this match is.
And now we're going back to P1, scrappiest of the hill, but earlier, though, we did have Blacklist International Ultimate claim all the time inside this hard point, and they're able to execute a lot of players by using the off angles in their favor. Right now, they do have the top floor control, and they are winning the gunfights up front. So that's going to be a huge plus for this team as they try to come back. While Scary continues to go and execute around the map, he's continuously frying this team. Already he's got 32 kills inside the lobby, leads this total lobby right now in total kills, which is going to be very beneficial for the team in here right now. But what matters is the objective point. And right now, it's going to be in favor for WDC. Chick now starting to win that huge gunfight. That's what the team needs in here right now, but they eventually get bullied out. A brief moment, they get right back to it, but Blacklist comes again with another set of attack, and they are successful at it. Now it's going to be a close back and forth action, but Blacklist International Ultimate, they win that one a lot better with the power position that they held right through the control center. Moving on to P2, it's going to be Blacklist having the favorable spawns. They got the second floor control with Chick actually down. FDX is going to throw in that Hunter Killer Drone as well to get them more actual drift attacks in the second floor. And this is where these operator skills actually gets valued. If you get time it perfectly, it's going to be giving your time. It's going to give your team a lot of favor.
And the two players on the side of WDC.Freeslot that just did so much for the team was player number 1 and player number 3. Alongside the one and only C1, took that backstab through the green radar station, pulling away the favorable spawns, pulling away all of that manpower supply into P2, and the Thai players will manage to dominate P2 for quite a little bit. 29 seconds. Two players need to win out their gunfights. That's player 2 and 3, Skirt and FDX, but both of them lose their lives at the same time. WDC.Freeslot, what a string of points as they pick up to not only make it to the front but also dominate this matchup. Final 14 seconds. I talked about this. You fool me once, that is shame on you. You fool me twice, that's shame on me. WDC doesn't fall for this trick, but look at Blacklist Ultimate. They go in for that perfect early rotation. They don't care about the scrap points of P2. They just want this P3. They want to win this game. Both the teams are hungry out there, Kali.
You know, you're soaking up the time. You're exactly where you want to be. Great setup so far for both ends. Now the pinch play from WDC. This could just get Blacklist out of the point. There it is. The break comes through. There's only one player right beside, and WDC is going to grow and, of course, continuously accumulate all the time inside the matchup. And now the pinch plays comes through once again, and holds the point. And Blacklist International Ultimate, they get hold off. They stand down, and WDC 3 more points for the win. The Blacklist contest will not be successful. The first map belongs to Freeslot.
Bowling of perfection. Why? Because of how patient they were with the investment of all of the score streaks. And I highlighted these two players, and surprisingly enough, these are the two players that get the highest score in this matchup. C1 as well as We're not just talking about the time that they had on the hill, but amazingly enough, how many slays they got out there on the battlefield, constantly rotating around the opponents, constantly taking that backstab, playing the game of perfection. It was not just a game of rush into your death, rush in to get a few slays, but it was just strategy from start to end, not just on the side of WDC. Both teams played it to perfection, but WDC.Freeslot just a single level above Blacklist International Ultimate.
In a tough one, you don't know where actually Freeslot is attacking at that final hill, you know. And C1, absolutely, as we've mentioned earlier, he's one of the key players playing in the hard point.
So can he hold down to all of those long angles in terms of engagements? It's all going to depend on that. But on the side of WDC.Freeslot, Cheek will have him on a number man, but we did see how Whoopi got that very easy win over WDC.Freeslot. You take Cheek out of the equation early game, you are going to be able to win this matchup. And at standoff, that really does matter. And now a beautiful flush coming through by Blacklist Ultimate as they just send their players rushing into that A bomb site, slaying out all of the rest of the players. And we do see a straggler towards that hotel yard as well. The one and only FDX, as he rushes towards the mid part of the map, he closes off a couple of players as well. Blacklist Ultimate have got this nailed down to the T in this first round.
Yeah, I mean, they got the first blood, they got the bomb plant, they got the man advantage. Everything is stacked in their favor. They just gotta work to this final two players in here, which is not going to be that easy. C1 and the top fraggers on that hard point. C1 start to kick things up on that elbow, gets one kill now. Turning to the corner could be very beneficial for in here. Has to back away, but scared there for the cleanup. And AG follows up with the final blow. A great start for Blacklist And I mean, you just got to continue that way, get that first blood,
Yes.
either drop Chick or drop the other players that might just be defending for WDC, and you're good to go. Get it on early and snap this team right off immediately.
I know we talk about, dropping Cheek, but when it comes to WDC.Freeslot, you just drop anyone, man. Just drop anyone,
Yeah.
and you're going to stand a good chance. And that same exact thing works for the
There you
side of
go.
WDC.Freeslot as well. But the first engagement here takes out a Now-In from the side of WDC. Tin with the headshot, but that was not easy. Played the head glitch to perfection. Good, oi! Bad bounce on the nade!
Oh,
but he still
what?
gets guitar. How in the world did that even hit?
What? Tin? What in the world? That's going to be a mind blow. Somebody clip that. Well, as we go and continue, we get a 3v5 situation in here. Yeah, now on the hunt. C1 on the flank. He could get FDX in here, which is going to be very beneficial. Opens up the flank and could turn some heads. And the attention now should fall in the hands at the back. But AG, good trade. And wow, what a nice cleanup so far. The attacking side for Blacklist International Ultimate has been doing them some wonders. And again, for Freeslot, at least they got to get that first blood exchange. If someone falls, not really a fortunate take there for them. I mean, Tin with that lucky nade shot, AJ.
Yeah, super lucky, man. I mean, I thought it bounced off somewhere else, but still manages to get the slay with a nade. Perfect frag. Tin's gonna be happy. Pumps him up with a little bit of extra adrenaline, but tries to take that flick 180. Does not get the slay. Scared on the other hand, slays out Guitar. Fantastic play. Cheek holding on to the back lines here. Manages to get one quick kill, but Scared was the only casualty in that engagement as Blacklist International Ultimate rushed to the finish line. They want to quickly get over to control so that they can get control of the series once again.
And for Blacklist International, great execution so far. But for Freeslot, they've been doing the same exact thing, attacking aggressively. They just got to learn to slow it down, maybe play for retake. But again, they're going to send out 3 players around that mid-map where obviously Blacklist can go in for the hunt and feed on those mistakes. And now you see FDX with that first blood Scared on the follow-up, dropping 1 player in Guitar. The player sent out on the mid-map is officially taken down. It is all down to C1 and Chick, not in a good position in here. Blacklist gets the final blow once again. They always get the bomb plant. They get the first blood. It's been the exact same thing all over again for its past 4 rounds. And if you're Freeslot, you can't go in there with the same exact strategy up against the Eastern champs.
Yeah, I do agree with you. Initially when you came up with the statistics that, the conversion of that first blood into victories at S&D matches, I had questions. I was 50-50 on that statement. I was wondering if or not that is going to be a reality. But when you look at the number of times that has happened out there on the battlefield, you just can't help but believe that statistic, Ali.
Oh yeah, as you can see, WDC got the first blood. They get this 3 follow-up to continue and make some insults in the battlefield. In your 1v5 situation, Jabin gets 1 with that sniper. Has to do with 4 more players in here. Huge kill on that angle up against that bomb site. Just need to worry about 1 more in C1. It's going to be close to proximity, but the flank is all about the timing in here. Well, for Jabin, he's good to go. He's got 5 kills already, but it has to do with C1 on this corner. He picks the wrong angle. The bomb site is going to get attacked. C1, good anticipation. Needs to that kills again. First blood for Freeslot. First win on this game.
But I really appreciate Jabin checking out every single angle, every single corner as he tries to get out of the compound. I mean, the game of numbers were against him. And how many times have we seen players just rush to their deaths and just waste those opportunities? Obviously, the numbers were overwhelming to come back against. But when you are playing it as safely as Jabin, you should be able to get a couple of extra frags on your side. And it's just a matter of luck sometimes on whether or not you will be able to get those slays. Thank goodness the trophy system is played by a Now-In. He keeps his head on.
Yeah, and now we get to see the teams actually have their lineup stacked in. There's still a 5v5 situation. And now for Freeslot, they are trying to slow it down. Just hold off a defensive-oriented defense here at this A-BAM site, stacking 2 players while having number 4 in blue and Chick guarding that mid-map while 2 players at the back. So this is a good stack setup here. They're just waiting for Blacklist International Ultimate to initiate where the bomb would be planted. And again, the snipers are going to be a huge thing in here. If Chick and FDX could find those couple picks for both sides, it could drastically change the tide of this game. 1 minute is left. 1 minute is left inside this game, and FDX deals the first blood against a Now-In, and now the push is coming along. Freeslot turning their head. We got a 4v5 in here, AJ.
The pixel peeping by Tin and the crosshair placement is just absolutely perfect. Just waiting to find someone at the other end of his aims. But as he ADS is in, he finds absolutely no one because the players of WDC.Freeslot just as patient as ever before they finally move in here for the push. Guitar, a good smoke starts things off, plays the head glitch to perfection, but a 3-on-1 shuts him down. Guitar first managed to shut down Jabin, but traded out by Tin. C1, that's a big kill coming through, but it's a 1v3 game of numbers against him.
Well, not in a good position in here right now, but they can do that FDX on that head glitch. And
Nice.
Tin was there actually to begin with. And Blacklist, again, FDX, it all started with FDX nailing down the shot against Anawin. They're able to push at the A bomb site. And as soon as that happens, they were able to find the players close to proximity in the site and just basically run them over and get freaky inside the match. Now the tactical utilities are gonna come true, and a slightly better take here for WDC. You know, Blacklist International Ultimate, you already know that they will be settling for the play for retake, specifically here at this A bombs it. So what they're trying to do is mess up the retake, put some players in that mid-map action, and maybe just turn the heads and of course the attention from the opponents. And well, for now, it could have gotten, it could work, but at the moment, Blacklist is not falling for it. You know, discipline is key for this team right now.
Yeah.
They stack their defense on their base.
And I like how the players of Blacklist International Ultimate play the game of patience, but at the very same time, they're waiting for that signal. And one single frag is all that signal they need to go in for that ambush. We've seen this time and time again, round after round. 5 of those rounds won with the exact same strategy, and the angles held on to here. Perfect in terms of attack, but on the defense, they do not overextend. They do not dictate the pace. They wait for their opponents, WDC.Freeslot, to step up in front, and gets the first frag. Tin backs away. It's a good opportunity, but Guitar takes Skirt out of the equation as well. If at all this is going to be that first blood conversion, and now it should be able to take this all the way. This is a 5v2, Jabin and FDX to win this for the team of Blacklist Ultimate, but Cheek says hell no. Jabin final engagement, Guitar sorts that out. WDC.Freeslot shows some signs of life, and for them to make their way back into this matchup isn't going to look impossible since they are on the attacking side. The pace purely dictated by WDC.Freeslot. I want to see Blacklist kind of throw them off their gameplay just a little bit here, Gally.
I mean, look at Freeslot there. You know, they totally countered the play for retake by pushing the bomb at this A set, creating that opener from Guitar, and then from and now they got 4 players actually stacking and of course attacking the enemy line. So that's 1, but Guitar once again trying to open things up, and there yes for the cleanup, so they can get the initial bomb plant in here and great sort of pressure. First blood yet to be traded, but C1 finally gets out as Scared goes for the hunt, but WDC.Freeslot, they will get the bomb plant. They also have mid-map control, so that's one thing plus for this team. Anawin will be able to win that huge gunfight up against Scared, and we got a 3v3 here, AJ.
Backstab Jabin doesn't look behind and gets punished for that, but AG trades out Anawin. 2v2, bomb on the ground, planted already, pressure on the shoulders of Blacklist International Ultimate. Slow approach by FDX, but has pretty much got him in a corner. And behind this tractor is one of the best defensive spots in the game. No hit glitch to play though, but you can slide away. Guitar shuts down AG. FDX finally shows up. One shot gets him down to just a sliver of health. Boxing gloves out by FDX shuts down Fantastic with the secondary, but it's all now for the defusal. More than enough time. In fact, just a single second left, and Blacklist International Ultimate secures that safe round as well as the match point.
Freeslot, what happened there? That's a 1v2. They could have played with the time. Could just have backed away or just hold up for a little bit more, but Blacklist, FDX was just relentless there. He wastes no time at all with that sniper. The conversion is real for that guy. He fried that round number 8. Now, where it's about to get freaky in here, a chance for Blacklist to end this S&D. Now, they do have 1 player shot down, and the bomb is going to get planted quite aggressively for Freeslot. A fast take on this. And they do also have players guarding around the mid-map and the back, so they are quite getting that man advantage in their favor. You know, they got a lot more covers to hold. But Blacklist International Ultimate, you already know that they love to play for retake, and this is one of the thing that they're really great at when it comes to playing S&D. But with numbers, it's going to be a disadvantage, but a good play for that bait and switch. Tin played Guitar like a string. We got a 4v3 here, but Anawin shuts 1 player down, but FDX again there for the trade. A 2v3 with 15 seconds left. This could just be a round win now for WDC.Freeslot, but Tin is not going to back down that easily. The clock is ticking. 8 seconds is left, and C1 there for the cleanup, and Freeslot showing some lives. winning some rounds on the attacking side.
C1 takes the initiative to circle around because, I mean, what's there to lose? Even if he does lose that engagement, the timer runs out and the round is still for the side of WDC.Freeslot. But I really like the ideation on the side of Blacklist International Ultimate, going in for the double challenge, bait and switch, got them that one engagement, but they just didn't have enough backup to continuously manage to push that lane down because they already had it opened up. And the few final seconds wasted in that engagement allowed WDC to just fill that role in and continue to hammer them down. This is the side of the Thai players that is just waking up, but they haven't started raging in this match just yet. Blacklist Ultimate on that match point just makes this so much more worse for them to deal with. Cheek with a double. Skirt sorts him out. Guitar trades out Skirt instead. Back and forth between these two teams. Once again, 1-2-1. And it is going to be WDC. One final guy on for the defense here as AG gets tagged up and C1 finishes him off. Fantastic play, games, and signs of survival on the side of WDC.Freeslot.
They played that one quite aggressively, you know, AJ. That's quite risky. Sending out Chick, the sniper, all the way to the enemy base. But it's a good thing that there's going to be tactical utility, especially the stun grenades, to actually back him up and buy some time to get him 2 kills there to initiate the attack. But, you know, for Blacklist International Ultimate, they've been so successful attacking and, of course, defending aggressively. Not exactly sure why they've been doing the same exact thing. Playing passively, playing for retakes when Freeslot has been continuously reading them right from the start. The bomb is down. Another play for retake. We get a 5v5.
They just need to execute this once perfectly, Jabin. Great triple challenge this time, and it works. Double challenge, no triple challenge, hell yeah. And it's a 4v2. Cheek on the far angle. 1 KSP user. C1 gets a double. Cheek drops him, and now it's a 1v1. Cheek versus Jabin. Jabin with the opportunity, slays him out. 16 seconds to go. Blacklist International Ultimate wraps up this S&D.
Yeah, big one. A big play for retake there. Gets the first blood. They take the player down.
He did not take a single round away. And against Almighty at Raid, they got smashed. So, you know, it's pretty much equal. But when you look at the side of the players of WDC.Freeslot, they allowed Low Kings to take away that match from them. Now, I'm not saying that Low Kings is a team that is not as supreme as ABC Esports or Almighty, but if you allow the Low Kings to kind of push you in that way, even though you were dominating some of the earlier gunfights in that particular matchup, then you know some questions needs to be asked of the strategic approach of WDC.Freeslot at control. And this has to be something that Blacklist Ultimate takes advantage of, Cali.
Yeah, I think so, because Blacklist International Ultimate actually will be having a favorable attacks coming through. I mean, they were going off with a win here at this S&D, where they were able to win majority of their gunfights, being able to initiate most of the time. But that last play, you know, that big play around the back, that white warehouse specifically, which is going to be the hardest point to control and the easiest to defend if you're on the defending side.
I do agree with you, man. And later on, it is going to be quite the hefty challenge for them if they do make it through, because the players of WDC.Freeslot are waiting, are raring to go once again when it gets to those respawns, and when very specifically we drop into Hardpoint, which is their best game mode. But they really need to prove that they have got exactly what it takes to control this next matchup. At firing range, things are not going to get easy. In fact, they are just going to get a little bit more harder. But we get to see in, you know, real life exactly how good both of these teams match up against each other. And I'm just glad that it's not going to end with a 3-0, because we have a minimum of 4 match within the series in itself.
Yeah, potential game 5, honestly, if we do see Blacklist International take this map number 3 and WDC takes that map number 4. But, you know, it's just going to be speculations from now. We get to confirm by heading out as we load in to firing range control. It's going to be WDC.Freeslot on the attacking end. So they got to be able to dictate where they might go and play the pace. And right now, they are going to send out Chick with that scope, that Arctic 50 right through the range. But then again, they bully out early Blacklist International Ultimate and that white warehouse. But things are going to get tougher here for Freeslot, because actually, the players of Blacklist, they sent out number 5 in team to go in and initiate that spawn trap and FDX, doing the damage on the white warehouse. They get the cleanup. Nice recovery made by Blacklist.
I love the initial frag thrown in and the finisher slide coming through from FDX, but going up against two players back-to-back, especially a player like C1, proved to be an issue for him. But it's quite equal out there on the battlefield when it comes to the engagements between the two teams. But Blacklist Ultimate just needs to focus on shutting down some of the approaches here by WDC.Freeslot, because second quadrant now stolen away. This A control point will be ripped off from the players of Blacklist International Ultimate by WDC.Freeslot. No questions whatsoever. And as they keep them engaged, as they keep them entertained at this A control point where they've already captured, it's surprising to see that the rest of the players of WDC are not rotating towards that B control point just yet, but instead they regroup as a squad and they want to push as a squad. This is going to be a lethal attack from the side of WDC.Freeslot when they do start to engage again.
Not so sure why Blacklist is also trying to wait around, you know. They gotta just make sure they stack that B control point. But I love the take it for Freeslot, you know. They're waiting and holding off this white wares because they obviously, if they get the kills in here, they have the opportunity to initiate the spawn trap. So that's one thing that this team is actually trying to do. Well, number one, C1 is actually trying to place gunfights there at the back. They open this B control point right in time. A huge double there for C1. We're getting one more against FDX and now lining it up. Lifting Blacklist on fire with C1 making the plays back and forth. This guy's a monster. 5 in a row right now. He's continuously looking to add in more attacks as he gets his tricks building up. Just a walking score trick of his own. He gets the perfect timing once again against AJ, but finally he gets shot down here, AJ.
Yeah, fantastic patience played and shown out there by C1. 6 frags back-to-back, keeping WDC.Freeslot in the matchup. In fact, in control with a 3-life deficit now for Blacklist Ultimate. They just need to hold on to this B flag. Great ready dropped by C1. Once again, doing so much of damage out there on the battlefield. But he could have just played that for a little bit more of a patient round later on, because that Freddy should be giving you more than a single slay when it comes to control. But he pulls out his operators. Just no saving up for the rainy day coming through from C1 on the side of WDC.
I mean, it's going to be C1, you know, a little song and dance for him
GG.
as he continues to find the rhythm, but it's going to be a 4v4 in here. Every shot is going to matter a lot. Check on that long-range engagement, but FDX on the back gets one player, and now he shots him down himself. Oh my God, that's the worst choke ever. 9 seconds is left, and Blacklist, they might be able to win it so long as they hide their players around, but the push from Edwin will be there to clean up the attacking round for Freeslot. They take this first round. But a potential big play for FDX. If he could have nailed those 2 shots, they could have been the one winning that round number 1.
C1 streaked himself up perfectly. He got that ready. He also got his operator, the gravity vortex gun, and he made a mistake with both of those plays. And that's exactly where Blacklist International Ultimate should have punished. In fact, they had the advantage. The timer was already running down. WDC.Freeslot barely had enough time. All they needed to do was just lock onto those angles and stay hidden away. But instead, they stepped out of their defenses to play the game of attack. Got punished eternally by WDC.Freeslot. Re-engagement coming through from Tin, and the timing was perfect for him as C1 runs out a bullet with his sprays. He fires him right back, and 1 quadrant away already for this B control point, and it looks like the players of Blacklist Ultimate have this in the bag. The A control point on for the tease by Jabin, and he wins this, and he will pull the players of WDC.Freeslot 2 sides at the same time. Blacklist Ultimate, I love this attack.
Yeah, divide and conquer and an overextended push mid from Freeslot, just trying to initiate the spawn trap enabled, which is going to bite them in here. As we see, Blacklist International Ultimate continues to soak up the time, a centimeter away from getting this B control point as they get 3 parts done. They are in a prime position to get all of the attacks in their favor, but not for long, as you know. WDC.Freeslot is trying to find a way to get their attacks together, but they falter. And this little bit of lapses in those decisions is going to cost them this game, because right now Blacklist is inside the point. FDX is trying to play with his life. He just needs to survive for a little longer. And that Hunter Killer kill is a big one. Now he's able to buy the time for Stimit to get back into the game. Here with that annihilator gets those huge 3 kills, and now they are 2 segments in. Make that a centimeter apart once again. They played this game like a film, and Freeslot looking lost in the matchup, AJ.
Oh, Blacklist International Ultimate loves attacking on firing range control. What a fantastic maneuver to split themselves up on the battlefield, attack both control points at the same time, win out their gunfights. But I have to say, a huge benefit for the side of Blacklist Ultimate is the fact that WDC.Freeslot has, one of their slayers just not doing his job out there on the battlefield. He even brought out the Annihilator earlier, did not pick up a single slay with the Annihilator. How crazy is that? Is having a terrible game, and Blacklist International Ultimate absolutely loving that fact. Jabin going to town with the rest of them, makes one mistake, and now it punishes him this time round. And WDC try to squeeze their way back in here. But unlike Blacklist International Ultimate, they focus on the A control point first. But there is one player already teasing them at the B control point. But the game of patience being shown here by C1, but he wasted too much of time. He should have just played that game of distraction to split up the forces of Blacklist International Ultimate.
Yes, the exact same setup in here for WDC.Freeslot, but they did actually expect that there's going to be no players guarding this B control point, and C1, has to wait it out and before he moves in and get this divide and conquer to get initiated once again. Same exact plays, same exact delivery for C1. He gets the flank on going, gets a huge 2 kills, and we're going to see some more action actually made by Freeslot once again at this A control point. They're stacking with the tactical utilities, Guitar, and now win the huge play off the back. But they still get bullied out of the point. Great stand so far for Blacklist, and C1 drops in the pred. Everybody's spread out. This guy's about to get it. And he's going to fry one player with that pred. 12-16 inside the matchup. It's still a very close one. But looking at the progress made by Freeslot, they are in a good position to take this away. That A control point is about to be 3 segments done. And they just got to worry about that B control point once again, AJ.
Yeah, that was all thanks to C1, who played the game of distraction all on his own at the B control point, managing to slay out 3 players while he was there playing the game of distraction, pulling away a single quadrant from the B control point as well. C1 has done a lot, not just in this round, but in this matchup as a whole. He's just waiting for as well as Cheek to catch up with him in terms of performance and also do their part for the team. And now we've got a 7-life deficit here for the side of Blacklist International Ultimate. And they are on the defense. That's not a good thing at all. WDC.Freeslot has been so efficient on the attack this time round.
At 10 life count in favor for Freeslot. 1 more minute for Blacklist to hold, and Thin and AG needs to stand their ground. As usual, we're going to see them stack it passively and wait for the engagements to happen. And if you're Freeslot, you gotta act in, you gotta get in there fast, but they're kind of worrying about this one too much. Well, they do have Anawin and Guitar having this operator skills highly available for them to get this take. And just looking at the way things has been happening so far, Control game was a defensive-oriented game mode, but look at the way things has been subsided recently. It's been Freeslot and Blacklist winning back-to-back offensive attacks, and now we are seeing Freeslot executing their attacks, slowing it down, and playing like this a film. And C1 is there once again to play these attacks, and 3 life count left for Blacklist.
Blacklist just needs to hold on to those angles now. WDC.Freeslot just wants to turn this into a team deathmatch, and they've done a great job so far. C1 still annihilating player after player, but now he's just a little bit too far. Needs to wait for the rest of his team members to get the job done. Skirt and AG does exactly that, but a single life left on Blacklist International Ultimate. This is a GGWP already. Cheek turns around, but it is C1 himself that puts the final nail in the coffin on that attacking round. And I absolutely love the fact as to how they turned control into an attacking game instead of defensive, because that's exactly what the meta of winning at control has been so far.
Yeah, they're just completely breaking the code of the matchup, if you get what I mean. Chick will be able to get jabbing down early. So now they are going to be the same exact thing for Blacklist. They're trying to push B and maybe try to set out Thin later on to push at that A control point. But for now, it's C1 winning majority of the gunfights, locking things down single-handedly at the B control point. But finally, AG gets it to go. This guy's 4 in a row, 1 and 2 on the control. But you have Freeslot actually only having 1 life lost for now. And they're already on the aggressive here, being on the defensive side. They're sending out players to initiate the spawn trap, and Guitar on a prime position to get this kill. There you go. This is not looking good for Blacklist right now. You got Freeslot activating their Annihilator to get their attacks ongoing.
Oh, fantastic. Spotting by both of these teams here. But WDC just a little bit more proficient on the defense this time round. A 6-life deficit, make that 5 for Blacklist International Ultimate. Yeah. Bad engagement. Doesn't need that double challenge to come through just yet. But FTX turns around. And by the time he does, Skirt already takes out C1 from the equation as he takes a very aggressive attack. Now this A control point slowly being snuck away by Blacklist Ultimate. Jabin and Skirt getting that heavy lifting done outside. WDC.Freeslot a little bit too far away. And it looks like they will not be able to save this A control point. It is for the taking for Blacklist Ultimate.
Yeah, very aggressive take for Freeslot, honestly, just pushing the spawns again and again and again. I think that's the main reason why they've been losing their lives in here. In a great bounce back by Blacklist International, by the way. They were down by a couple of kills, and now they now have the life advantage, and it's all because of how well they recuperate back and just rejuvenize as a team. They're trying to slow it down at this point in time, and well, they're slowly getting there. They have already got that A control point. They just need to get one more, and right now they will be full stacking right to the jungles. This could just be bad, but it could be good as well, as they are going to initiate the flood. But let's see how are they going to execute with Jebin being the point man. It drops and now the XS1 Goliath in for the taking for Blacklist, and this is going to be the winning condition that this team actually allocates in here, AJ.
XS1 Goliath in for the investment. Skirt engagement took a little long to shut down that player. Grenade right after that stun. No problem. Tin is there for the backup. Gravity Vortex gun on both of the axes, but the one dies out first. Yet another stun slows down Skirt. Skirt can't slay out the player just yet. Yet another grenade tossed in, but Blacklist International Ultimate doing so much of work with the XS1 Goliath. Can WDC.Freeslot get in? Answer is hell no. With a single life left, Blacklist International Ultimate can push this now to a round number 5 in control.
Great Gravity Vortex investment and a properly timed XS1 Goliath to win them their second No, this is not the defensive. This is their offensive rounds.
Yes.
And, it's kind of crazy to think that all of the wins so far by both ends is on the offensive side.
Yes.
And it's either is that these two teams are just great at that offensive taking, or they just suck at the defense. It's either of the two, but this is going to be important, Blacklist on the defensive side. What angles are they going to take? What adjustments are they going to make? With Freeslot actually now inside that A control point, they got to shut them down off immediately. And it's a good trade for both these teams to get 2 lives down in these few engagements.
And this is where we see, if or not, the mistakes of the past will catch up with WDC.Freeslot. Remember the operator and score streak wasted by C1 in that very first round prematurely. He did not secure much from it. He has not activated it for this final round. In fact, none of the players on the side of WDC.Freeslot have got those extra operators or score streaks to work with, unlike Blacklist International Ultimate. Annihilator investment already brought in, but I believe that player got taken out a little prematurely. So great engagement by the side of WDC.Freeslot as they sneak away this A control point, leaving Blacklist International Ultimate with just 1 left to them. But Tin has got that double score streak, brings in the XS1 Goliath on the defense. WDC, how will you break this XS1?
That's 2 Goliaths invested in here for Blacklist. They're going here big in this game, but the Rockets are going to come through for Freeslot. So you obviously know that it's going to be the tropa system that's going to be very useful in this sort of taking. 1 minute and 50 seconds to hold, and WDC slowing it down, but they are in a prime position to strike. Guitar is going to be the first one in. Now Jabin will be baited out, but Guitar will be able to use that takedown against Tin. And well, it's a great hole for Blacklist, Jabin, and of course, Tin is going to be in that control where they're going to have 2 angles taken solely as a player individually, and they send out 1 player to control the spawns, and this is just great take so far. They are buying off the time, and WDC, they don't know how to take the angles in here. They're pressured right now, AJ.
Oh, they are just so smart with the engagements, but it's just back-to-back. AG activates his Annihilator, annihilates 3 players back-to-back, and now a 6-life deficit for WDC.Freeslot. Tin drops that Pretty. Taken out of the equation. Full-on investments of core streaks by the side of Blacklist International Ultimate. But look at what WDC was waiting for. They were waiting to activate all of their operators, and they go in for a full investment this time round. WDC, can they turn things around? Guitar with a double kill. Can Can he get the third one? Goes in for the pop. Close range combat. Manages to get the slay. They're all equal with the numbers out there. Blacklist ultimate. Can they survive in the hands of WDC.Freeslot? Guitar, Hunter Killer Drone, as well as the Pretty can be brought in. Lives all equal. 40 seconds to go. What a fight we have on our hands.
Yes, Current now gets shot down, and Freeslot, they are one segment in. The gravity vortex are going to come true, but the life count, it's going to favor Freeslot. Look at the comeback made. They slow it down, and now they are on the advantage. Now they take the win to a win to capture Freeslot, the best comeback ever.
A double investment of the operators, and one guy just hung back, and that was the winning factor. What a play. And even though C1 was the annihilator at the start of the game, and now in steps up late game, fantastic play. Everybody did a lot, even though Yeah and Cheek were not at their best of forms in this game. Oh my lord, WDC making us lose our minds. What a playoffs we've got on our hands here, Callie.
Oh yeah, absolutely right. And this just proves the point, you know, WDC.Freeslot, they can play fast and aggressively, but when they play it very slow and they combine their IQ and execution, that's what really makes this team very deadly. And that we did see the last round, you know. They know that it's going to be the card stack against them, so they pick and choose their battles wisely. And when Guitar was able to pop out with that Annihilator, that's when things suddenly took a downfall for Blacklist International Ultimate. It nosedived with the way the operator has been invested. But take a look at your boy right here, and now in with that huge 30 kills.
One that we've been waiting for the longest of time. Shout out to Blacklist International Ultimate as well. To a certain degree, they played control really well. But WDC, they were the cherry on top of the icing on top of a well-baked cake.
The fact that this team actually took over 3 offensive rounds to win that game makes it more impressive, and now they have the momentum once again on their side. Now we play and load up and take up a map pick made by Blacklist International Ultimate, and this is one of their classic maps, and this is where they kind of dominate the most. So just a matter of executing in here, going after those power positions, those second floor controls for P1 and P2, and getting those favorable anchor response for P3, P4 going to be very important here. Same thing for WDC.Freeslot. That's the way to go. That's the key to victory inside this matchup, and we go all the way through. When Freeslot off to a very great start, they win the initial rounds, and they do have the control at that P2 already.
You want to play hardpoint and take off, you really got to manage your spawns. The moment you lose control of that spawn management, you lose the match overall. It's not the biggest map available in Call of Duty Mobile, but it sure as heck is one of those wider ones where travel time between your spawn to the hardpoint will take a while. And a lot of those open angles if you really do not know the map. Now, both of these teams are very proficient when it comes to takeoff. And therefore, we are going to see this played down to the tactics down to the very end. WDC.Freeslot opens up great, and the winning factor here for the Thai players is their engagement capability against Blacklist International Ultimate that just seems so much superior, and I cannot help but think it is mainly because of that fantastic victory that they are now playing off of. The adrenaline pumping through their veins lets them soar through this first open hard point, as well as hold on to the anchor spawns for P2. WDC.Freeslot is in the mood to annihilate a couple of Filipinos out there on the battlefield. Unfortunately, it's Blacklist International Ultimate that are right in front of them, waiting to get taken down. But what is that response gonna be like, Callie, for them to strategize a way back in here?
Yeah, maybe try to attack in multiple angles in here. It's a good thing that Blacklist International Ultimate, by the way, will be having the favorable spawns, but you know, when you lose their gunfights, it makes things matter worse. Yeah, now able to get himself involved, getting freaky inside the match, the starting of the shot! 4 in a row, baby! Yeah!
Oh yeah, this guy, absolute annihilator. Guitar's playing this on another level as well. Blacklist International Ultimate, they do not know exactly what's happening out there on the battlefield because almost all of their gunfights going to naught. They win a couple of frags, totally annihilated instantaneously when WDC responds. And now, early rotation. Blacklist Ultimate wants to make this P3 their money hill, but WDC, look at the strategized approach. They smash the guy who holds on to the the anchor spawns. They take generators, drop in a Pretty, annihilate the players of Blacklist International Ultimate. But look at this, God spawns, Gods of RNG, giving it right back to Blacklist Ultimate. But the hill, who holds on to it? Blacklist has got 2 objective players. The approach by WDC has been fantastic. And you look at the XS1 Goliath investment as well. XS1 wants to hold on to the spawns. Blacklist Ultimate is in a lot of trouble now.
Yeah, they just have to stand down inside, but it's not going to be very useful when you have C1 actually investing their gravity vortex and yeah there for the backup and get these attacks to line up. Right now, Blacklist is holding their ground. They are taking control one angle of the map, which is going to be number 1. That's going to be Jabin controlling that mid-map, but finally, he gets shot down. And now the multi-angle push is going to be very useful for Freeslot to get the break, and they do so, bully out Blacklist International Ultimate after slowing it down. And they're not in the worst spot here either. They are down there claiming the scrap time. Take a look at the map here. They are on the position on the left side of the map. They are shading from P3 to P4. This is why you want WDC.Freeslot to execute their playing and shading this like a film.
And you need to hold on to the spawns and generators even for P4. And therefore, the XS1 Goliath investment was really smart. But what was not smart was the XS1 Goliath being asked to hold on to those scrap points. You got to play your operators a little. You got to play your score streaks much smarter than that. The XS1 should have moved to generators to hold on to the spawn, whereas the number of players sent into the objective should have been at a minimum of 3 on the side of WDC.Freeslot. But regardless of those mistakes, they still win out their gunfights. Blacklist Ultimate breaks it for a mere second before WDC continues to run the town. And it looks like Blacklist Ultimate is running out of options. They're just bashing their heads in through the door right now, hoping and praying that it cracks.
They gotta get in, you know, they gotta get in fast. It's maybe contest, but it's not going to work, especially with Freeslot in here locking things down with their gunfights. They know when to prepare for the attacks and they know when to execute. 5 seconds is down. We're moving on to P1, which is going to be the reset. And take a look at the lead that Freeslot has been able to build up. If we don't see any attacks and we don't see initiation and initiative made by Blacklist International Ultimate, this could just be a run over. A Freaky Friday made by Freeslot up against Blacklist. But finally, Jabin able to win some gunfights. But it takes more than that. They gotta double down that effort because right now the lead is so far away. They're far away from the striking distance and they gotta take advantage of the verticality in here, which they aren't doing at the moment. And WDC.Freeslot, although they're going to be late on the rotation, they will be going in to initiate the flanks and take over the verticalities once again. Just take a look at that. No one's contesting the point, but Freeslot got a better angle off of the view.
When you play on a map like Takeoff, the number of slays out there on the battlefield is not going to be anywhere equal to what you can see at Summit or firing range, where you see players popping off, getting 50 kills, 45 kills. It is going to be so much more lesser this time around. But look at WDC.Freeslot. They really don't care. They're streaking themselves up really well, dropping it like it's hot on the players of the Blacklist International Ultimate side. And the biggest factor here is they're winning out a majority of those gunfights, and Blacklist International Ultimate just isn't doing the exact same thing. But now the spawns held on by Blacklist Ultimate. It is all in the hands of Jabin here, and he disengages. But the Gods of RNG still have got that spawn on the side of Blacklist Ultimate, but they are not playing it to perfection at all. They are hopping off of that spawn, and WDC.Freeslot has a great opening here to punish them for this mistake.
Yeah, Chick right now, beautiful angle. They are now trying to take it over from multi-angle. This is not kind of friendly for Blacklist as they get bullied out. This team is just clinical when it comes to executing inside the map. Freeslot just bullying out Blacklist all over again, and no answer made just yet here for Blacklist. But now they're trying to go inside, but they are not successful again. The mechanical capabilities, the power position, the verticality held off by Freeslot, it's just immense. Blacklist can't take it that far.
I am so confused as to why Blacklist Ultimate did not hold on to those anchor spawns for P2. They had the numbers, they had the manpower, they just needed to have one guy sit down in a tiny little corner and not do much and just look around to see if he can slay anyone that comes to backstab him. Instead, he makes that mistake. Jabin, unfortunately, is the guy that makes the mistake. I don't know if or not his duty was to hold on the anchor spots, but he was there. He takes his eyes off of it. WDC squeezed him themselves in, and they take over those spots, they take over the hill, they annihilate Blacklist Ultimate. And it's happening here at P3 as well, but the gunfights are so much better from the side of Blacklist Ultimate, mainly because of the spawns held on at generators. And if they make that same mistake again by removing their anchor player, it's going to be a GGWP. Once again, pincer maneuver by WDC.Freeslot, slaying out left, right, center. They do not have an anchor at generators. Blacklist Ultimate wants to make sure they do not make that same mistake again, and I like this adjustment.
Yeah, a good hard point is all it takes for you to get back that momentum. And you know, Blacklist International Ultimate, they would want to go back. You see, they claim the time, the final 10 seconds, and they're already on to new. And this is one way to recover from the errors that you made and mistaken earlier. So this is a nice start for them in this second set of hardpoint that we have. But they just still continue to gut it down and, you know, play this one like a film. But it's not going to be that easy. And now with on the flank with that KRM and C1 going to be in charge once again to get up some time and predict all of the players spawning right through the generators. But finally, it's going to be Blacklist winning majority of the gunfights, and now they're looking so well. They win a 4 in a row, make that 5. Building on that score streak, he gets that XS1 Goliath. We might see an equal playing field in the matchup, AJ.
We talked about this already, man. It's just spawn management when you get into takeoff. Blacklist International Ultimate, good job this time round. Although that stun comes popping through, back to back to back. You thought, wildfire by Tin, still wins out that gunfight, and now in tagged up as well. Tin doing so much, reloads at the wrong time out in the open, but he has that backup from his brothers. C1 steps on in, great backstab. AG taken out of the equation, and WDC.Freeslot dropping player after player on the side of Blacklist, but they still have the favorable spawns. When you have the favorable spawns, you can go in and you can continue fighting. And now Blacklist being forced to spawn from both sides, out of cranes and out of generators. That is still a blessing in disguise with the pincer maneuver, but time runs out. Their hardpoint resets. Here we go, round number 3. Blacklist Ultimate has lost out twice at this P1. Let's see if they can pick up the majority of points in this final rotations of hardpoints.
They just gotta continue and make sure that they put the players in there all over again. They just gotta make sure they survive the attacks, and therefore they get the P2 rotation. They can use that XS1 Goliath that will be earned by Tin earlier at that P4 in their advantage, and we might have to see an equal playing field as we go to P2. But for now, WDC, they clean up the hill and the perimeter, but Blacklist will be going in there for the hunt once again to take these players down and make sure that the hard point is going to be contested, not giving Freeslot any good time inside the hill. And now you are seeing him fighting. The bullied is going to get bullied out once again, but WDC continues to play it right through. They get the scrap time, but Blacklist International Ultimate, they get an XS1 Goliath. In fact, 2 XS1 Goliath invested in this P2. This is going to be important, AJ.
Yeah, but it seems to be a very silly move if you ask me. XS1 Goliath responds from the side of WDC, and a FHJ attack straight to the face of Skirt takes out the first XS1 Goliath. And now XS1 versus XS1. Yeah on the other side, but along with a sliver of grenades tossed in one after the other. FHJ attack as well. But what's the equalizer from the side of Blacklist against the XS1 Goliath of WDC? Absolutely nothing. And he backs away, soaking up these points. 211 to 182. The players of WDC.Freeslot, they undid the meta of double XS1 Goliath set up by Blacklist, once in control, and now here at the hardpoint matchup at takeoff as well. And they rule this hardpoint pretty much, because even if they're not taking away the points, they're making sure Blacklist does not run away, does not catch up, even though they've got the favorable spawns. That's a very difficult thing to do.
Yeah, and you know, Freeslot is just doing the same thing all over again, but now they're starting to make some errors, which is going to be bad. And Tin continues to lock things down in the hill. Final 5 seconds would be in the hands of Freeslot, and another XS1 Goliath invested by Blacklist International Ultimate, and you already know it will not be shot down with that Predator missile, so they are good to go. Wise choice for putting down the trophy system as the hardpoint opens up. Blacklist is right inside the hill, and grenades is going to play a huge factor inside its matchup for Freeslot if they do want to shot this XS1 Goliath down. They don't have operating skills to help them back down either, and they gotta make the push inside the game. And well, 224 to 210, and Blacklist about to come back in here, AJ.
Yep, FHJ has been reignited, and the FDX XS1 Goliath very low on HP. Cheek very sneaky, hops on up, turns around, slays out Skirt. Can he sustain inside FDX now? Great slide, distraction, manages to get a now in. Guitar goes down as well. This is the lead by Blacklist International Ultimate. WDC.Freeslot challenges for the points, which means the game does not end here. Now WDC breaks it for a single second, but the damage has been done. WDC can now rotate. They no longer need to fight, but they still want to take away scrap points. They want to punish over at P4. What a game! What a series!
Operator skills are going to be important in here, and FDX continues to create back-to-back plays. And now Blacklist, they win the occasional gunfights in the early battles, and this is going to be important. Final hardpoint for the taking, and Blacklist initiating the best comeback ever in hardpoint after trailing in that control. They come back, they win this map number 4. Game always being the one initiating early, getting those initial picks, and he did have a great play right from the start until the very end. And we did see him actually invest one of those XS1 Goliath in the game, where in return actually helped this team contest every hill that WDC.Freeslot actually had inside the game. But you know, it all went down to how well you use those.
Fantastic showdown, but we did see WDC eat the L at SND. Is this now gonna repeat once again? Because when you look at the statistics at Slums SND, we haven't seen either one of these teams play it at stage 4 group stages just yet. This will be the first time we see this at stage 4. But based on what Blacklist has shown us already, there's a high probability we're gonna see the Thai Giants kick down into the lower brackets.
Well, yeah, and you know, we did see the first SND earlier, won over by Blacklist International Ultimate. And what was the basis? What was the structure made there by Blacklist? Well, they always initiate with the first blood, being always there to initiate aggressive and truly cost them the win there. And of course, in this game, at this late stage where you have to play map 5 to decide whether you're going to advance on to the next round or you're going to be dropped on that lower bracket, it's going to be big as we load into Slums. S and D. Lives are going to matter a lot. First bloods are key to victory, but let's see how this team strayed because of how close we've had the matches so far. We start to kick things off with Blacklist on the attacking side, and there it goes. First blood already handed over. Din has continuously been playing so great for this team, and now we do see that first blood exchange. So we got a 4v3 kind of happening inside the matchup, AJ.
I mean, just witnessing match number 5, I'm such a happy kid, right? I'm such a happy child. I've been waiting for this level of competition for the longest of time, right, Callie? I mean, we've seen soft engagements, especially at the group stages where we see some of the teams really unable to sustain the fight against each other. It was sometimes a one-sided domination. But a series like this, where you throw in 2 giants against each other, it's Goliath versus Goliath. In fact, actually, you know what? It's not Goliath versus Goliath. It's Goliath with the agility of David going against each other.
It's a hybrid, man.
Yeah, it's a freaking hybrid between the two, and they bash their heads in against each other, and the engagements are just so fantastic. But the conversion of that initial kill, the conversion of the first blood into victory, that statistic still reigns supreme.
And yeah, you know, Blacklist has been able to do that ever since the start of this matchup, and they are continuously locking it down, finding their groove as they kickstart with that first round victory. But again, if you're WDC and you're starting on that defensive side, as much as you want to control that B bomb side, you would want to have every control in that mid-map to take away every sort of position that Blacklist might hunt you down once they initiate the flank. So far, they've been doing so good at forcing Blacklist off their spawn. So that's going to be a huge plus for them. But they're going to need to find a way to get that first blood in, or maybe Chick with that sniper, or maybe this play from Anawin in a very prime position to get his attacks as soon as he moves in towards Broken.
It's a slow-paced push this time. First blood in the hands of WDC.Freeslot. Cheek with a good engagement. Continues shooting down at the players of Blacklist International Ultimate. Gets the second frag as well. Cheek on fire. But they're looking at the wrong guy. And WDC.Freeslot strings it up with that first initials play, as well as shutting down the other players. But the game of numbers, even though Skirt gets 2 back-to-back, catches up, and WDC.Freeslot makes sure they do not falter and fall away too far back. They are on the defensive, and it is absolutely essential for them to pick up each and every single round, because on the attack at Slums, it's not as easy as it looks. It's really difficult to get into that bomb site and secure your positions because it's a little bit closer when it comes to the defense. So the attacking side is going to be much more difficult, just the difficulty that the players of Blacklist are facing right now.
And you're going to have to rely on your nades or with your sniper to create all the difference in that long range before you even make a play, just to make sure your opponent is not going to have any sort of engagements. But FDX, huge play there with the tactical utility, using that 50 GS to convert, but now the trades come true, but the numbers still alive for Blacklist, but no. Then is going to be able to dwindle the numbers even more. Scared on that mid-map control. We get our first 1v1 and Guitar will be able to string that Guitar, and Thin will be there for the cleanup. And wow, what a fast take there. I was not ready for it, AJ.
You can play a good tune, but you can't do much when someone chucks a tin at your head. So
Yeah,
that's exactly you get a concussion. I'm not talking about a concussed grenade. I'm talking about literally a concussion from getting hit in the head by a tin. And he just got clunked out, man. Blacklist International Ultimate. I mean, great engagement. Tin once again secures yet another slay. Make that 2. Turns around only for Guitar to string it up. This time around, 3 kills back to back. Guitar's on fire. It's a 1v2. Skirt tagged up. Cheek finishes him off. Fantastic response by the Thai Giants.
22 seconds was all it takes for a Freeslot to actually go ham at the round number 4. Well, I mean, for Blacklist International Ultimate, good play for Tin. They played it well, but they just couldn't deal with Freeslot's adjustments. And of course, the position that they held, one from the bricks, one from the broken. They had the pinch going through all along. A good pick from FDX. Woo! Great angle against Chick, and now the first blood comes through. Now they just have to push here. But the question is, what type of angle are they going to route into? For now, they're slowing it down. And although Freeslot is down by numbers, you look at them actually extending out to try to get some picks here, playing with their life, which is going to cost them something inside this matchup. But for now, it's still going to be a 4v5. 30 seconds passed by already. I mean, FDX, what angle are you just taking right now?
And this is what we talked about. It's so difficult for the attacking side to make their way in. And you brought up the point as to those long angles needs to be secured by the sniper to open up those battlefields just for the plant of that bomb. Which is why when you're on the attack, it's so much more difficult. Which is why it's amazing. It's fantastic to see Blacklist Ultimate secure these rounds. But WDC.Freeslot better have that same engagement capability as well. We did see signs of weakness when he did go up against Whoopi on the side of Smart Omega. And those initial frags, he wasn't getting. In fact, he was eating those initial first few bullets. So on the attack, this is where we will see later on WDC.Freeslot, if they can hang with Blacklist International Ultimate, who are going to have the advantage when they are on the defense later on, Cali.
You know, every time a player falls on the defensive side, it makes the defense grows harder, you know. And right now, with our player actually out of the picture, this guy actually one of the playmakers in terms of those respawns, but here right now will be sent out to the next round. And well, for Blacklist, I love the take-in, you know, for this first 6 rounds that we had. They've been playing it slow, waiting for FDX to enable himself and get all of these landing blows with Scare, able to back them up and create those flanks. But Jabin still has 0 kills in here, and that needs to turn around, specifically with this game very, very close. And right now, 1 minute passing by, we don't see any pushes yet, but a good pick here with that nade could just be the detrimental in this matchup so far. Freeslot on the disciplined defense, just securing this mid-map.
See how they circle around FDX. Guitar just flies into his crosshair. FDX says, "Thank you, sir." Takes that shot, gets that nail. And it's just a 5v3 that Blacklist International Ultimate needs to deal with. But thanks to Smith, he drops it into a 4v3. Jabin taken out. AG trades out Smith. And now it drops FDX. Back and forth we go. But it's a 2v1. One player on the side of WDC. But he is the one and only Cheek. Long angles, perfection for this guy. If he can get those quick scopes pulled off. But gets spotted out instead. Quick scope does hit. Tin gets taken down. Repositions as well. AG behind takes the initiative to approach and cut down the distance, but Cheek says thank you so much for cutting the distance. Takes a quick scope against him. A lot of time to find the defusal. WDC.Freeslot right back in this matchup.
Yeah, great play from Chick. You know, he's built for those moments, and a great pickup for him staying alive at the very end. And that sniper, you know, obviously it's going to be very useful on those long-range engagements. And Chick just made it look like a shotgun in there with the way he took down AG. And for Blacklist International Ultimate, that was a 2v1. They got the number advantage. They got the bomb plant down, an open plant right through the garage, wherein they just couldn't play for time. And then when the tiny lapse of defense, of course, just really costed them that round. But now we kickstart this first attacking side for Freeslot, and they fall down one by one. AJ and Guitar out of the sudden, the first 20 seconds is going to be the last player alive, and he's probably thinking what happened to his teammates, and well, he's gonna have to survive, but FDX with the pistol, just a lovely snap back with that shot, and there it goes. Blacklist once again with that lead.
I mean, earlier on with that final engagement from AG, I don't know what he was doing because he had the KSP. He had 2 years to take Guitar out of the equation, Cheek out of the equation, and he just did nothing. So that's one of the most unfortunate things that can happen out there on the battlefield when you've got so much of time to work against a sniper, but you let him readjust his crosshair and take you out of the equation. Very painful. Hopefully that doesn't affect him in his overall performance later on, because those moments can really take a dig at your self-confidence, Cali.
Oh well, and now for WDC, they are getting attacked and ramp from the back. This is not exactly friendly looking, but AG, he's not the possible player to right side, but
nice.
still wins one gunfight. Dancing in front of Smith, but finally gets shot down. Cared, what can you do with 3 players? He just needs to get one at a time, but the push and the information already sent out, and Smith was just waiting for the perfect moment to get these attacks to line up. 20 seconds left. Freeslot just buying some time, milking that clock out. And Skirt has to make a move, has to be very efficient. And I think this should be a round win for WDC. The clock runs out, and then now with the final blow, well, that's how you initiate the attack and the offensive, AJ. Get that bomb plant down, just wait for the final player to just go for the push and go for the trades from there on out.
But my question is still gonna be, what in the world, AG? What was that? I mean, he gets the perfect backstep, snaps around 180, spots the player, crosshair placement perfect, but he doesn't shoot the guy. So I'm thinking that this could just be a technical issue on the side of AG because, he's got the crosshair placement and all done, but the reaction of having his finger click on the shoot button just isn't connecting. It's either the button's not responding or his finger's not responding. Guy better have a cup of coffee or something because he needs to wake up. 2v2, FDX and Skirt on the defense. WDC.Freeslot already with the plan to pile on the pressure, but this pincer maneuver by the players of Blacklist International Ultimate can just be the winning solution, and FDX with a long range takes Cheek out of the equation, slaps him on the left. Guy falls down. WC tries to trade out, but it's all about Guitar and his KSP. Secondary perfection for FDX and the defusal for Skirt. Too easy. Blacklist Ultimate, they will move ahead.
You really see the value of that sniper, AJ. FDX has continues to be able to create the picks for Blacklist International Ultimate, not only on those first spots, but at the late game as well. Huge kills there to get that 1v2 situation to be converted. And not only that, FDX has been playing so great, but it's also backed up by Scary, who has 12 kills as well. And these two combines for 23 kills and truly making up for Jabin's down performing inside this matchup. On the back-to-back nades we go. Blacklist now on the bound.
Oh, GG.
Oh well, FDX a 1v4. What's he gonna do? He missed the first shot, and I think that should be information sent out already. Not in a good spot. Chick with the final blow, and I love how both these teams just go back and forth. AJ, Blacklist takes one round. Freeslot follows up with the win, and well, we might just be guaranteed an overtime. And you expected and you wanted some teams to actually go in there and race until the limit of the overtime, and well, we might just have it here.
You took the words right out of my brain, brother, because that's exactly what I was thinking about touching on next. Because the way these two teams are going, inching forward one at a time, we might just be able to see that overtime limit reached in this matchup unless one of them just wakes up and goes ham against the other, just like what WDC did in the previous round. Back-to-back slays, Blacklist Ultimate could not sustain. Now it is Blacklist Ultimate with the advantage in terms of numbers, but WDC, we've seen them turn things around so many times already, but Cheek isn't performing the way the players of WDC requires him to. And as I say that, Cheek says, shut up, Mustachio. I know how to hit the shots. Jabin taken out of the equation. It's a 3v2, numbers to the side of WDC.
Every round is going to be important from here on out, and your WDC would want to have that match point in your favor. Now about to strong the guitar. He spots the first player, now surging forward. Could get the swing game in favor. Information sent out. He gets the player in the heady. He goes back again. A bait and switch come and shoot, but Thin wins it. A game called cat and mouse, and it's a win for Thin, and AG dealing the final kill, and Blacklist once again pulls up front. Now they have the opportunity to close out the series and surge the next round on the upper bracket. Can they kick out WDC.Freeslot on this round number 12? Well, here we go as we load it up.
Let's see if Cheek can hard carry his team. So far, everybody's keeping the pace up except for Smith. Surprising performance, but we'll see him try to turn that around. Guitar trades out Jabin, but Skin as well as Tin and Skirt.
Oh.
They quickly put down the players of WDC one after the other, and FDX with the secondary, and then the sniper pulls in front. Fantastic victory. When